as of like 2 days ago, we had a few things to talk about, but as of this
Yeah,
moment, there's a few more. So where do you want to start?
dude. Uh, I guess the departures. I guess everyone that's kind of we kind of figured this would happen. So it's like uh, I guess the very beginning, from what I can remember when we kind of were rehashing stuff, was the Devo and getting the fifth. I was going to ask you, I was good. I was actually happy with the fifth. I didn't think I was hoping it'd be a higher day three pick. So. Um, And I guess I just opened the floodgates. I knew we would probably we would try to bring back a lot of the guys, but um, it's just the money that's being thrown out there now with the with the new cap, and and I knew it was gonna be hard to get some key guys back. I guess the one that hurts the most is seeing Greenlaw go. Um, but I didn't think it'd be fuck, dude. Like there a lot of guaranteed money, and it's made it pretty easy for the guys that were able to move on to just yeah, I gotta do what's best for me. So it's it's uh it's a it's a dude. I look at like the depth chart and what we have now. It's a fucking damn new team. I think I saw the from the 2019 team when we lost in Miami. Like four players left, just four.
Sure.
And I think it was Bosa, Warner, Kittle, and Wisnowski. That's it. So it's a it's kind of crazy when you think of it that way and put things into perspective, and how important this offseason is for this regime, because if they obviously have a plan, and but if they don't, if they end up, this is probably going to be the year that kind of gets a couple guys on the hot seat for if we do come up short with this schedule. And but yes, I guess a lot's just going down. I guess the highlight one was the Debo one. I know the latest news that we just got our comp picks for. Let me see. We got Hopkins went to Baltimore. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins signed with Baltimore just now. Um, four compensatory picks. One of those is pick 100. So we have now five picks in the top 100.
So
So
what
that's
is
what,
it? A third, a fourth, and two sevenths.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So a lot of money being thrown out there, and when I kind of saw like the first kind of couple dominoes go, and then you see some big extensions for obviously the big name players. I kind of figured, like, I didn't know what order they would go in, but it's it's expected.
Yeah, I think looking back now, we've been playing the kick the can game for a while, and the reasoning has always been, the cap is going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up, and we can leverage that and strategize to push some of these contracts. And I know everything revolves around Brock getting paid, so just strategizing around pushing as much cap down the road as possible. And for me, that was like my only train of thought. It never dawned on me until these contracts got signed yesterday that like that cap increase is a two-way street. Now we have all these other teams across the NFL who don't have marquee players signed to big contracts, who have deep pocketbooks, and can go out there and overpay and really overpay for a lot of guys that aren't great. I think the biggest surprise for me may have been Jalen Moore and what he got. And even
Dude,
Hufanga, I assumed Hufanga and Greenlaw were going to get 1 year deals. Maybe Greenlaw, if you feel really good about it, if you you look him over and you say, okay, health wise, like he should be fine. He will come back okay.
Mm.
But Hufanga with the last couple seasons, and not only with the injuries, but like he's a high octane player, obviously, but he's got his flaws too. He tends to miss tackles sometimes and blow coverages. So boomer bust kind of guy. I would have expected him to get a 1 year prove it deal somewhere in the middle of the market, maybe a little bit higher than average. Man, they threw the money at him. And Charvarius Ward getting $20 million a year on a 3-year deal at 29 years old. That was also a little unexpected, honestly. So yeah, like there was just no way we were going to compete this year. And I think now that I'm seeing, you see Juszczyk getting dumped, Leonard Floyd. I woke up to that this morning. Obviously, the status quo is going to be get young, get cheap. And it just seems like this is the year things are lining up to where you can have, I'm not going to call it a rebuild, but you can have a kind of a reset, and you should be able to get away with it just fine in 2025, because even though you're already eating a bunch of dead cap, you're going to add a little bit more to that with all these guys they're cutting now. But you still have probably the weakest schedule of any team in 2025. So based on the fact that you still have a big handful of marquee players at key positions that are signed through this season and beyond, there's no reason why you can't still go out there and compete while also, biting the bullet of all that dead money in 2025. So it's not like we're having to go out there and play a first place schedule. It's a last place schedule 1 and 2. We benefit from playing some pretty weak last place opponents as well, and in divisions for that matter, the South in both the AFC and the NFC. That's you could cherry pick anything better than that. So we have a chance to, surprise. The type of thing we've seen from division rivals the last few years, right? Like 2022, Seattle was supposed to be a rebuild. They overperformed. The Rams, maybe even last year, where people were wondering what they were going to end up like. They draft well, and then they get some things done. So I'm pretty optimistic, and I probably agree with everything so far. The only thing that hurts is Greenlaw, but the money just wasn't right, and you're not going to spend a pretty penny on another player who's an injury risk when we already have enough of those signed to larger contracts with a pending, $50 plus $60 million deal to get done with our quarterback. So, but I feel pretty good. Like, this was inevitable. We knew it was inevitable. It all comes down to keep your core younger guys that you really want to keep, which they did a good job of getting Lenore locked up. And I remember what his total was. I don't know what his guarantees look like, but he's still not on the absolute high end of pay. Like, I think we got him at a really good deal. I think J.C. Horn just got $25 million a year. That's so. In retrospect, that was a nice signing. Yeah, I feel as good as you can feel, having lost quite a few players. The year 2 guys are going to be a big deal, right? Just make sure no regression there. We liked a lot of what we saw from that rookie class. We need Pearsall to take the leap and be a main contributor next season. But I think the offense, and I think it was written in stone. Well, we overpay for a backup tight end, and there's a strategy to that. You're probably going to be running more 2 tight end sets like Kyle Shanahan's been wanting to do for 8 years.
Yeah.
So you're going to see more of that, and obviously Juszczyk is now expendable because of that. Offense hopefully revolves a little bit more around Kittle, at least for 2025. I feel okay. It's just going to be about hitting on this draft. We can't miss on this draft.
No, and that's kind of it was the main thing that we were talking, like anybody's really talking about with before free agency and now during, like nothing's changed. Like, we got to hit this draft. I mean, it's not that it's. I'm curious to know now. I think we have what now with the 4 comp picks. Like, what we have, like 14 picks. I think we had 10 before.
I think it's
We had
11.
10 before. Oh, it's okay. So those are already added.
They're
Okay,
above
right, 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 right.
those, yeah.
Right. They don't add on. Well, so we like it's. I don't know if we're gonna draft 11 guys. I think we kind of have some ammunition to now kind of move up a little bit now that we know what pick that is in that round. So I it's gonna be the draft's gonna be so interesting, man. And I think if we're able to just and I know we got that fifth for Debo, and I know our history with the fifth round stuff, so it's gonna be big, man. I don't think I'm on the same boat as you are. I don't. I feel good. I obviously kind of expected this. I did not expect the such high bids for certain players, not just from our team, but like for around the league. So you know, but now it's like, well, is it still a lock that we're going to be taking a guy on the defense line with pick 11? Probably, but um, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see who we get. But then after that, when we get to camp, like who we get, even as undrafted free agents, who else we're bringing into camp and stuff. So I don't think I think we're in a good spot. Um, I know we're still in the running for a couple guys. I know, like even like I kept hearing Justin Reed's name, the safety from Kansas City, and the number he just got, dude, from I forget who off like where's he going? I forget where he's going.
So I like,
Um, but like Jesus, dude, like it's just like you see it, like yeah, Justin Reed would make sense, and he's a veteran guy, and he's a uh, but like New Orleans, New Orleans, it's a 3 year, 31.5, 21.25 guaranteed. Um, so it's like we obviously have a cap. We obviously have a number that's like a max number that we have a ceiling on what we can spend on certain positions. So
mm,
I know a particular brother um, might be coming, which would
not
be
a brother, a brother.
a, not a brother, no, a brother. The brother, man. What, dude? I'll take a brother. Another brother. um, any brother now.
Yeah.
Any. No, I think we're in a good spot, man. I don't think all these day two and day three guys, the guys that are still available, even at the skill players, like I know these are all gonna be like 1 year deals, and they're all gonna have an immediate impact on our cap this upcoming season. So like, it's gonna be interesting to see if we're gonna have guys if the front office is gonna be like, well, and everyone that's even the guys that were on day one for big money, they're all guys with not all of them, but most of them with big time injury histories.
Mm,
And the Jan Moore thing was crazy. The Jan Moore thing was pretty fucking crazy.
yeah.
That was interesting. The Aaron Banks one was even like not as much because I think Jan Moore's he's gonna start left tackle, and that offensive line for Kansas City's kind of they just traded away 282. So uh the Aaron Banks one, dude, holy shit, dude. But like I think it's like north of 60 million is in like the first 3 years of that deal or 2 years. I don't remember, but like 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 he I golly, man. A man, it's weird. It's always weird talking about another professional athlete like a man's worth in this league, but Aaron Banks in the National Football League playing guard is not worth 60 plus $1 million for the first couple of years, 2 to 3 years of his contract. So that's like that blew my mind. And again, if I was him too, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll go.
yeah.
That's a good deal. And then like seeing like obviously we talk about the who we tenured. We tenured Mason to come back. Obviously, he can still teams can still uh, kind of reach out to his representatives and have him or present him with an offer. But we have the luxury now to match
Talent.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like Mason's coming back. But that's going to be a good little chunk of money too for that 1 year. Patrick Taylor's coming back. He's also I know he got some play later on in the year, but him and Durendo and Mason, you know, with Christian, obviously, a lot of our success depends on him. But that's good. I mean, I didn't expect Mason to come back. Elijah Mitchell gone to Kansas City.
Yeah, the injuries. I'm less concerned about. Mason is just a usage case when it comes to the injuries. It felt like, I mean, he got like that shoulder stinger, but it felt like if you just reduce his touches, he'll
Yeah.
hold fine versus Mitchell, who's on any given play likely to go down. I'm curious, like you're bringing back all three of your backup running backs. Is it that you're not confident in McCaffrey's recovery, which I'm hoping is not the case? And I've been thinking this for like the last year, is that eventually Christian McCaffrey is going to get either run into the ground and his career is going to end, or because he has a very specific skill set, do you eventually adapt your offense to using him as more of a flex player where he doesn't get the same amount of time. He's not gonna rush it 20, 25 times a game, but you can line him up, maybe not in the same exact way you did with Deebo Samuel, but somebody that you can very easily put in motion and put almost anywhere on the line of scrimmage and have him create some sort of mismatch for you, because he is probably the greatest route running back, minus maybe Marshall Faulk. And eventually, like, you're going to get to an age where you have to make a choice. You're either going to fall off a cliff at age 30, like every other running back does, or you're going to adapt and change the way that you're used. So I'm curious if there's a game plan there that revolves around using him a little bit differently going forward, especially given what we're paying for him, and saying, hey, weeks 1 through 17, here's going to be your allotment for usage, and we're going to save you a little bit more for hopefully January. But it'll be interesting. I mean, taking away Deebo and then taking away Juszczyk, like, it completely changes the offense. And now your play caller, your guy with the clipboard, is going to have to figure something else out. But I think it's good timing because it feels like the last season, at least. Granted, we had a lot of injuries, but defenses are a little more wise to the Shanahan offense. And it'd be nice getting receivers that can separate a little bit more, and hopefully we can do that this season. But it's just interesting with the running backs. I didn't expect to retain all three. Obviously, Gurendo's going to stay, but the other two guys, they look like they're sticking around. So I'm just curious. It doesn't seem like the Shanahan thing to do, right? Like, we have 11 draft picks. What's stopping you from using a 6th rounder on that running back you really like from that small school, like you do all the time, and just replacing it that way? Why bring back these guys unless it's some master plan that you have that revolves around potentially getting more touches for the likes of Jordan Mason in 2025?
Yeah. I don't see. I think McCaffrey's gonna just, until the wheels fall off. Like, I don't think it's gonna be anything. I don't think we have. I mean, we have to get this run game going, and he is the run game. So I mean, and people. I know people have been clamoring for, like, we divvying up the carries, and kind of like how we had with Mostert and Coleman, and they've done that before. Where another guy that we're kind of trying. I heard we're trying to bring Mostert back. That'd be funny.
I read that.
Yeah. So I think like we talked about previously, like, it is like there is a system in place to where, like, defenses have, they see a version of this offense. Like, if it's not team A, team B does very similarly, but with different pieces that you can kind of move on the chessboard. Maybe we're not as our personnel group is not as run dependent, but it's very similar. It's very similar, like where the ball ends up going, on what they want to like expose and how they want to play you. So it's I think with Shanahan, like he obviously knows that, and he always talks about kind of adapting every year. So we're changing something new every. And with Christian and him being back, the only thing it's like, okay, well, defenses have to respect obviously the run game, and they're gonna have like, they're gonna present a loaded box to where we can kind of now throw the ball a little bit more. So I think if you know, but I don't see like Mason getting like if Christian's hot, like he's just gonna fucking ride, like he did when we went in 2021, probably 2020, fucking try to forget when we went to the Super Bowl. So um I don't. It's just like, okay, but then it goes back to the upfront stuff. Like, Trent's obviously gonna come back, but he's older, and do we get his replacement in this draft class where there's a couple good ones? Um, you know, uh, Brendel is still slated to start at center. Who steps in for Banks at guard? With Pooney at the other side, like Spencer Burford, who's there still, and McKivit's still right. I was like, it's just like, you know, I don't know, man. You know, uh, we'll see. I know we signed this guy from Jacksonville, Luke Farrell. Uh, so yeah, I think everything's in play for this. I don't know who I could really. It wouldn't surprise me if they go as an offensive skill guy at 11. To be honest, I don't think they will, but it wouldn't surprise me because there's going to be guys that fall down that are legit. Um, so if they stay in pad at 11, it would not surprise me that they go skill player on offense. Uh, but just with McCaffrey, like, I don't know, like they got to protect him from himself a little bit. But it all comes back. So I keep fucking talking about this. Like, it all comes back to the guy pulling the trigger, man. So if Brock gets his money, I just hope he plays a little bit better than he did last year.
Play more consistently than he did last year. He had some really good games, and he had some kind of shitty ones. I think now that I'm thinking about all the moves that have been made, this week, this free agency so far, like we're protecting ourselves for the long run. Right? We already know that 2025 is the year of, grit your teeth and just accept that we're, 80 plus mil in dead cap. Like, it is what it is. We have a soft schedule. We've got some good guys. We got to fill in the rest in the draft free agency, and let's ride with what we've got and get younger going forward. And so protecting the future of the team for the sake of that. Now circling back to the contract that we may or may not give this guy coming up, if the negotiations are going tough, and I don't think he should have signed for $45 million. I don't think it just doesn't make sense for him to sign that contract. But if the number is closer to that range where we've seen other guys sign pretty big ones, who, the Jordan Loves and the Trevor Lawrences of the world, if it's looking more like that, or even a little worse than that in terms of like guaranteed money, I'm starting to think, for the sake of frugality and saving the future of the salary cap, do we just say, okay, look, let's shelve it. You're going to play your fourth year, and then going into next off season, we'll be able to assess you on another season you played in 2025, and see what we look like there. And hey, if you play your ass off, great. We have the right to tag you, obviously, and then we can pay you, and then we can shell out the big bucks. And if you don't, then we can go whichever other direction we need to go, whether it's another quarterback or if it's his contract with you, that's not quite as much. Because we still don't know for sure. We've talked about it before. We're still not sold one way or another. We want to see him take the next step, especially when the games are tough and we're maybe tied or down a score late in games against tougher defenses. Play a little bit better there. I'd like to see that um, before we give out something that's that big of a contract. I'd pay him now at the rate that some of these other guys are getting paid that are some of the marginal starters. I thought Seattle got Darnold for a pretty good deal, considering what other guys are getting paid. That was like 37 a year. It's not awful. He's going to suck. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be an absolute disaster behind that offensive line. But I don't know. If we pay the big bucks again to another player and it doesn't pan out at the most important position in the game, that will sink us for the next 3 to 4 seasons. Period. If he doesn't perform, so I don't think we're in a position to just eat it and just accept it. Like we're just not. We've already handed out too many big contracts and they're going to be on the books for the next several years. We cannot miss on quarterback. So I don't know. I'm starting to lean a little bit in a different direction.
Dude, like it is kind of having the epiphany like the last few weeks of just like, all right, I don't give a fuck what anybody else is making and what they accomplished. For this team right now and what we're doing and what we've been through and who we had or had not or had on the roster or don't have on the roster anymore, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work for us right now. And I feel for Brock because I think he has a chance to become a really, really good player at that position. But you know, we can't burden ourselves with that number. And I know the number that he's going to want to that's going to be in like based on the market. So we can't do it at this. It, that's what sucks, dude. It's just like for what he's done and where we got him and the kind of player and the character that he has, you feel for him. And that's kind of like but again, like this was never about feelings in this business. So it's like, we just can't string together, even though I know how they're going to frame it. They're going to make sure that it's going to be backloaded. They're going to make sure that this is going to be an extension based off his rookie contract. So it's not going to hurt us or not going to bite us as bad. So we can still do it. We can still have outs and we can still protect ourselves from, the astronomical numbers. But again, like, he's going to be a big part of our cap. And it's a big talking point now. It's like, it's been the talking point around this team. Like, when we talk about, we can talk about the defense, we can talk about special teams, we can talk about all the things that we like, and we like a lot of things going on right now. I think, like you mentioned, like I'm on that same boat with you. I am not mad. I mean, obviously, like again, like the Greenlaw stuff sucks, and but it was expected. Like it didn't like come out as a surprise. Like even the money that he got, like it's fine. And I like the fact that we have 5 top 100 picks, and we have a great class last year for our rookie class, and the hopes that they'll take that next step in development and what we do. I love the fact that Salah's back. I love the fact that we got a competent special teams coordinator that's going to make us not dead last in the league, and we're gonna be able to play complementary ball. I love. There's a lot of things to like. I think, especially after such a shit year. But it kind of just like, well, there's also like, but we have this thing with the most important position in all sports, that's no longer playing on a, rookie deal. All that we talk about, all that shit that we like on a scale. And this one player for that position, it could like pen to paper. If it doesn't work out, that shit that's on that positive column, it's nothing. So
Yep.
it's like like, you know, but what are the alternatives? Like, what? Like we bring in a veteran guy that doesn't do as well as Brock, or maybe a little bit better than he did was last year, or do we draft another rookie that's you know asking? So it's like, what do we do?
I think the delusional people who were talking about Aaron Rodgers a few weeks ago, all the
Mm.
nut jobs out there, some of them 49er fans. I think that
It,
goes right out the window now because you're looking at 2025 and saying this is a reset season. This is not an all-in roster right now. It can still do pretty well, but the super team that we've had rostered for the past several seasons isn't quite as super anymore. And I don't think anybody's saying, well, if you just add this one quarterback for one season, then it's Super Bowl or bust. I don't know that you're looking at that with this team right now. Maybe if we nail the draft, um, we could overachieve. I'm not saying we're going to go. I don't know what to expect this season. I don't know what the 49ers will be. It's a reset season, but there's favorability, and we've done, like you mentioned, a lot of good things that should yield positive results on the sides of special teams and hopefully defense. We have holes to fill on the line, obviously, but yeah, there isn't an alternative. There really isn't. Uh, you could draft somebody. I don't know what this draft class looks like for quarterbacks. I'm not tracking that it's all that good. Um, but I think it's looking like we're geared to eat a lot of dead money this year, clear out some cap space. If they get the deal signed this year, this offseason, a portion of that has to hit you in year one. So they're clearing out some money for that. It kind of seems like they're getting ready to pay him. I didn't understand the Leonard Floyd release. I didn't really get that. He's not great, but he's serviceable. He's healthy, uh, but he's also on the wrong side of 30. So I don't know. It just feels like we're clearing a lot of money out, and part of it is wanting to get younger. But I feel like that Brock contract's probably coming. But I don't know. I don't think he's. I think he's going to play a little bit of hardball, and he probably should. And yet he's probably only. There's a chance you're only going to get one of these big contracts in your career. So yeah,
oh, we've seen this. Yeah,
he didn't make much.
We've seen his team play hardball before and that again turns into a detriment because what if this does get to the point where we're talking about like we did with the Ayuk stuff, you know, and the
Or
Bosa
Bosa,
stuff and the
or
Debo stuff, yeah. And with the quarterback, you can't do that. Like it can't happen. Like so like even if he does end up signing, like I think it just looks bad on the organization. I don't think I think they got kind of into a corner with a couple guys that we had to make that run last year. That never happened, obviously. So it's my stance doesn't change on it. I think that all options need to be on the table. Um, you have to make a hard decision. If Brock's our guy, which they've said publicly that he is our guy, but it's funny that when Lynch met with the media on Combine Week when it was he said there's no guarantee it gets done. Like those are his words. I don't remember him saying that about anybody. Now I could be wrong. I could probably pull up a snippet of him saying the same thing about Ayuk or Debo or Trent or Bosa or we have a lot of mouths to feed, we have a lot of good players, but I've never heard him say those words in that phrase. Not like he said it in a context to where it's like he didn't like just waft at it. He didn't like make a quip. Like it was part of his delivery and answering the question. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like it was.
it was
So it
intentional.
was. Yeah. So like I've heard and like they've said stuff before where they do the exact opposite. So like it's not like I'm not putting my tinfoil hat on, but it's like he said that. It's like when he said that, I'm like, oh, dude, like. Like and part of me was like, oh, he's I believe him. Brock's our guy, and he believes that, and Kyle loves him. Okay, but he said that like the little, like oh dude, like I might like worst case scenario, like we're talking about this shit in training camp and he's not there. We don't even have a fucking second team quarterback right now, technically. So what are we doing? And Kyle's gonna go out there and throw passes, dude. Fucking a little.
Nah, baby, we're gonna sign famous Jameis Winston.
I heard that. That'd be so, dude. That'd be. You know what? You know what's funny? Yeah, I could see him working with Kyle. I can see him. I can see Kyle kind of getting the best out of Jameis, even though Jameis has the genetic gene to just throw it to the opposite jersey. In the worst time in the game. They're like, I can see it though, dude. It's funny. That'd be so funny.
Not funny at all.
That'd be so funny. Dude, we're all like all these positives and all this drama with the quarterback, and we see Jameis leading this on Sundays, dude. So funny. It just has to it has to just like it doesn't feel good to know because all of a sudden especially with the national media they're just pegging the Niners like, oh, it's a rebuild or a retool or what like we kind of saw the iron we saw the iceberg ahead last year after what happened in Vegas, and eerily similar to the COVID 2020 after we lost in Miami, injuries and guys doing weird shit, and it doesn't feel good that we're just all right. Well, now the Niners are I still feel like we're in a good spot, and I still feel like if we get 2 impact players that can help us right now in the draft, preferably on the line of scrimmage, I think we'll be okay. And I think I don't know. Our depth up front right now defensively scares me, obviously. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I said that to myself yesterday. If you can get 2 day one starters out of the draft, which is not easy, but it's doable, on the line of scrimmage, that's huge. That's a huge help. It's not like, even with all the talent that's outgoing the last couple weeks, there's still quite a few really good players on this roster. And then that coupled with, the energy that Robert Saleh brings and getting the best out of guys, the depth guys. Curious how much say he's having in some of these defensive.
A lot.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
I was surprised again by Leonard Floyd this morning, but I'm curious, what he's thinking, what he's up to on that side of the ball. But you got to nail the draft. You got to nail the draft. You need a couple guys that come in, can start right away. Once you fill a couple of those holes, it actually looks pretty good. If your guys stay healthy, assuming Big Trent had a nice off season and that he's fully ready to go and not out of shape come July, August. If McCaffrey's healthy, everything becomes so much simpler on that side of the ball. And then on defense, it's just a matter of building the interior and having depth, and then figuring out whether or not Winters is going to be the guy. It's a glaring hole in the linebacking core. I'm not too concerned about the secondary. I think we'll be okay there. But everything starts at the line of scrimmage. You just win the line of scrimmage. Last season, we went into in 2024, and I'm telling you, I looked at the Rams defense after they lost Aaron Donald. Right. And the worst defense in the NFL on paper. I didn't recognize anybody's name. The only name I recognized on that defense was Ernest Jones, and they traded his ass before the season started. And I recognize they had a couple of decent guys up front, the younger guys.
Mhm.
And then they drafted a couple and they hit.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, the Rams at the end of the regular season were one of the best, if not the best, defense in the NFL, playing with no namers in their secondary and their linebacking core.
Yeah.
Because they won at the line of scrimmage and they had all the depth in the world at the lines and they knew how to get after the quarterback. And that's
Yeah.
everything. And I know we've been talking about that for the last 6-7 years since that 2019 season. But if you can just get after it, everything else falls into place on defense. But we're also very behind in that respect because we only have one guy really on the line right now that's worth a whole lot. So it's going to be interesting to see what we invest draft wise at that position and what holes we fill in free agency, what that looks like. Even fucking DJ Jones got paid. He got like 11, 12 million or something like that for a 1 year
Yeah.
deal.
Mhm.
Like a depth piece who can rotate in, and those guys are getting that type of money. It's crazy. It's going to be tough to find guys. I don't know that I want Bosa. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about getting younger, and I don't know that it would have made sense to even swap him out for a Leonard Floyd. More upside, but is the injury issue, and I'm a little irked that we didn't try to get anything for Floyd because the buzz was
I
there was
heard, I heard they tried. Yeah. Yeah, they tried. I heard they tried. Nothing, and you know, the release at this point, I guess, doesn't hurt as much as later on. So yeah, I yeah. I mean, I think Bosa is better off. I think he's a better. Um, I think he's a bit of a better presence off the edge than Floyd. I also think he's better against the run. I think that would be an upgrade, and I think if that's the direction they're going, I know it's going to be cool for the for the ticket sales and all the having one both brothers on the edge. But I still think that he's got you know some good football left, and I don't see I'm still holding out for Trey Hendrickson, and we trade up to trade Cincinnati. We get him, and we just put all our money on edge rushers. Um, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I could see I could see Bosa. I could see I think I think he's a better player now than Leonard Floyd is right now. So uh, especially that he plays the run a bit better. Um, hypothetically, like if that were to happen, like now what like do we have to hit on the interior guys if we have a three technique that we like in the draft. Great, and but we don't have the best track record on drafting those inside guys. Uh, there's a lot of them this year though, so I don't think I don't think I I I think the odds of us hitting on one are high. So whether that be in the first, second, or third round, because there's gonna be some dudes. I think you mentioned you had a good point with Salah. Like he does have a lot of say, and he's gonna, he had a lot of say in getting Fred Warner. So like he was one of the ones that believed in Fred from the very beginning. So if we can go ahead and I know winners, watching winners last year, especially in preseason when I can actually watch, I didn't the he's just very like his first step's kind of slow and he's not as downhill as I'd like him to be because this is how this defense is kind of going because like we're wide nine and we're going upfield on defense up front and he's just and he wasn't I don't think he initially took on blocks very well either like he gets some guards to him and he's kind of light in the ass too like when everything was rainbows and unicorns when we had our dudes out there if you saw Greenlaw like Greenlaw, his 0 to 60 is fucking just, and he plays very physically. He uses his hands, as violent of a backer as I've seen it in the league, which allows Fred to be um, more slower to his reads and play in the pass game a bit more. But So it was kind of unfair for me to compare D to Dre. Um, if we're gonna if Saul can go ahead and find a, because we got Greenlaw at Arkansas, we got wow, what round was that?
Yeah.
Fifth. Like I love there's so many and there's some good inside backers. Like I like Samil Mondin. Mondin out of Georgia is good. He can play inside and he can play outside. He's probably gonna be an inside guy. Um, I like Demetrius Knight, South Carolina. He popped off a couple times by accident when I was watching Georgia. But he's legit. Because he's also kind of reminds me of like he is like he plays with great pad level and he's very good with his hands and he doesn't there's no hesitation, especially in the SEC, which is listen, college ball on Saturday to Sunday, it's almost like a completely different game.
Mhm.
But SEC is like the I guess the template that you want to use, and he wasn't he didn't hesitate to pull the trigger on anything downhill in the run game, and he's very physical, very fast, laterally moves well. When I see backers, I kind of geek out on the backers, even though I wish I had I wish I could have played more back when I was younger. But I never had I never had the cojones or the physicality or the size to do it. But the other guy that will be there for sure. Jeffrey Bassa from Oregon. I one of the like even in my fucking dorky mock drafts, dude. I always want to how they have Bassa this low because there's so many good dudes. Bassa out of Oregon, he's he's a bit like he looks like a tweener. He's a little smaller, but he's very he was first of all like it matters when I look at like all right, here's your player profile. Fuck the numbers. You got the statistics great. Your draft eligible great. Here's your ranking. Team captain, defensive captain, obviously, and he was his availability was off the charts. Um, that matters to me. Like he's a culture guy too. Like we always look out for culture guys.
Mhm.
Uh, and he's also very you could tell like he's very smart. He understands how to play with leverage too, which is so cool. Like he knows where his help is. He knows he's very you can always see him communicating. It's hard to tell with all those fucking gay uniforms they wear because the helmet because usually like they got the stripe on the helmet. So you can if I got the end zone copy, I can see where their eyes are because of the stripe. Because if the stripe moves, their eyes move, right? But like it's all rough angle, but I like Bassa. I like Bassa a lot. I think Bassa is going to be if he goes to the right situation, and and Salah has a lot of experience, and we got a good linebackers coach. I think Johnny Holland's still with us. Who else? Those are the names. Like Demetrius Knight's good. Mondin I like. Jalen Walker won't be there. Jalen Walker will be one of the first ones gone. Uh, Kid from Kansas I keep hearing about, but I didn't watch a lot of him. Uh, but yeah, man, there's gonna be dudes. There's gonna be dudes. I think another culture guy that Jack Sawyer, defensive end from Ohio State,
Mhm.
fucking team captain, you know, just culture dude. Guys that you want, guys that love football, guys that play for each other and protect the team. He's in there dude too. He's the one that they lost when they lost to Michigan. He was the only one that took umbrage to that flag being planted at the 50. He was like the only one that went to go rip the flag off for like he's one of those guys. He's an Ohio guy.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of dudes, dude. That's what gets me kind of excited because like it's like all right, well, if this draft class didn't have a lot of guys that can fall later in the round, so it's like I'd be kind of concerning, but there's gonna be a lot of guys for us. I hope you grab one of those guys, Knight, Mondin, or Bassa to compete with winners. And I would not surprise me if one of those guys, if we do get one of those guys in the middle of the draft, that they fucking like these job is in jeopardy.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, he was very hit and miss last season. He got a lot of attention for certain like flash plays that he made, but for every flash play there was a missed tackle or he's running several yards behind the ball carrier as a catch.
He looks so light. He just looks so light in the ass, and he's just a millisecond to a half second just slow with his eyes. I just couldn't like it, and it's very evident, dude. It's like one of the things like it's like, all right, the ball snapped. Where are you going? Where's your first step? And it just that was the only thing. He's good in he plays good in space. He's kind of like a Fred Warner light in that. Like he plays good in space and he knows where how to relate to receivers and to play. But in the run game, where you gotta fucking fucking knock heads with dudes that got 80 to 120 pound, maybe no, not 120, but 80 to 100.
Yeah,
You gotta fucking you gotta go. You gotta go. And Dre was so good at that. And um, you know, we've been spoiled with our inside linebackers. Obviously, we've been spoiled. Uh, Bufunga, another guy, dude. A lot of money.
that was surprising. Um, I don't know. We need Jair Brown to circle back to being a little more competent. But Mustafa played really well last year. I mean, between Mustafa and Renaro Green, like I think our secondary is going to be in pretty good hands. It's just a matter of whether or not Brown's going to be the guy that's going to be starting opposite Mustafa this year.
If I was all the way out on a player right now on our roster, it'd be Jair Brown. All the way out.
Well,
it's not like there's one. It's one thing to regress. Like it's one thing to be like okay, like but like what the shit that he was, and he got away with some things too. Like it was lucky that the ball didn't go his way on a few plays, but all the way out, and that's why if like and the safety class in this too, like dude, Eamon Wari killed the combine. I've been mentioned. I've been watching him for like it feels like been obsessive about him. So like he's like if there's a safe, there's a lot like dude. There's so many good like him, Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. I like Makuba from Texas, even though he plays more nickel. But Brown and Winters are no. I give a pass to Winters because as far as his his development, but Jair like for being a first round pick and for kind of having a foothold that first year on the job, and to see fucking Justin Jefferson just I remember that play, and I was like, dude, that's elementary. Like we're running quarters, and it's just a vert switch, and I don't know what the fuck he's looking at. I don't know what he's looking at. That's fucking Justin Jefferson. He's okay. You keep your leverage and go. Like you got to get out of here for the long. It's just I don't know. And then oh dude, the fucking play in Buffalo where it was still like 0-0. We pin them deep finally. Like it looks like we're playing complimentary in shit weather. And Dalvin Cook, they run like a little bullshit outside zone. Tight end set there to that side. So he's in the fit. So he has to come downhill. And if they block it right, it's going to be him and Dalvin. They blocked it right. See you later, dude. Scoreboard's changing because fucking Jair Brown. It's stuff like that. So it's and then they brought in Deshaun Gibson later on in the year for. I'm all the way out on Jair Brown. All the way out. Another first round pick.
He's a third rounder, not a first rounder.
He was a first rounder. Jair Brown?
Yeah.
I'm not drinking anything right now. I'm drinking coffee. Am I mistaken? I'm gonna look
that shit. He didn't have a first round pick when he was drafted.
He was a second rounder.
He's a third rounder.
I'm checking.
We did trade up to get him though. Yeah, we took him, Latu, and Moody all back to back to back.
We didn't have a first year.
But we did trade up to get him.
It doesn't. What the fuck? Where is it? First name. Why is it taking so long to figure this out on this regular site here? Here we go. Wow. Round 3. Shit. Who did we take in the second then? Did we have a second round pick in 2023? Yeah, we did. What? We traded up from where to where? We traded up for him. Yeah. Okay. But what? Yeah, that class. Jesus. Why did I think we took him late in the first? We didn't have a first round.
I don't think we didn't. I don't think we had a second rounder. I think that was the McCaffrey trade. He gave up a second for McCaffrey. I think Brown was our first selection in the draft. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I thought that.
Qualify as a first round pick though.
No, absolutely not.
We can shit on him anyway. So.
No, I'm still all the way. I can't. He's got to go, or he's got to fucking get better, dude. I don't. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I thought that. I'm all fucked up, dude. I try not to remember. Okay, or like, yeah, okay, all right. That class is here. Pretty rough. Yeah, a lot of good safeties. So we gotta every level of defense. D-line, backers, secondary. We gotta grab a dude. So, and then let Brock lead us to glory.
Trenches, build trenches. Let's build.
Yeah, well, we don't invest any resources in the offensive line though. So we'll draft someone late. Cooney was round 3, so we'll figure it out. But Brendel, the starting center to start the season. I don't want to fuck. I don't want to.
He might. Be.
I don't want. It's hard to take Kyle Shanahan serious if Brendel's going to be the starting center. Dahlman went quick. Dahlman went for a lot of money. That guy we talked about went to Chicago.
Yeah, he might be. This regime is notorious for accepting mediocrity on the offensive line and just accepting it. But
it sounds like Trent's got to be. Trent's on a pitch. I mean, his hourglass is going too, man. So like we got to think about left tackle too.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be offended if they used like 7 or 8 of these draft picks on both lines. You can still find a guy. You can find a day 2, day 3 pick that maybe isn't all the way ready just yet. I mean, it's very commonplace in today's NFL I think if there's one position group where they take a little more time to develop and give them more time to develop, it's the offensive line. So wouldn't mind to see a couple of late picks go there as well as the early one. And the same thing with the defense. We gotta hit on a couple of these guys and get dudes that can rotate in and contribute a little bit right away and toward the future. Yeah,
dude, that draft class, dude. That's the one that's probably gonna, the post. That one's Zaire Brown, Jake Moody, Cameron Latu, Daryl Luter, Robert Beal, D. Winters, Braden Willis, Ronnie Bell, and Jalen Graham.
A first or second round pick. Okay, let's look at the 22 draft class. What does that one look like?
That's not as bad because of who's Mr. Irrelevant. But Drake Jackson, Tyrion Davis Price, Danny Gray, Burford, Womack, Nick Zachel, so Khalil Davis, Tariq Castro Fields, and Brock Purdy. Damn.
Those are those Trey Lance trade away years.
Yeah, and then in the last year, it's a bit better. It's a bit better, but fuck, dude. But Aaron Banks, Trey Sermon, Ambry Thomas, Funga, Elijah Mitchell. But then you got, Diamador Lenore in the fifth there. So
Oh yeah, that's a good class. That's a good class.
it's not bad, but
it's a good class after the first round.
yeah, we got a lot of mileage out of Ambry Thomas, it seemed like, too. I mean,
for a round 3, a little disappointed, but he had some moments where he contributed for a bit. That was a good draft class. It's just the Trey Lance pick alone, because not only do you sacrifice those 2 first rounders, 3, but you also miss on both of the consecutive drafts afterwards. So it's not like,
Yep.
hey, we're going to give up these picks. We just got to make sure we hit otherwise and, draft decently later. Like, we completely shit ourselves in 22 and 23. And we're feeling it right now. You could swap out. We go back to the 22 and 23 draft and look at the draft board where we selected somebody, and then look at the next 5 or 6 picks and see, one of those guys who's a contributor or a starter somewhere else. Like, we're probably missing, 2 to 3 to 4 starters on this roster right now, plus a few rotational players, all because we completely crapped out both back-to-back drafts. Somebody's got to pay. Somebody's got to pay for that. When fired, who's ever responsible for rounds 1, 2, and 3 is fucking fired. And 4, 5, and 6,
it's a collaborative effort. It is Kyle's show. I will die on the hill saying that, dude. It's a collaborative effort. They listen to their scouts. They listen to the coaches on the staff. They have a bunch of guys they got grades on, and who's ever there, what they feel like is part of the plan or the 2-3 year plan that they can get the most out of. It's a collaborative. Like, I'm looking at all of them right now, dude, and it's I can. I can go back and remember, back to, but we don't kill the draft. We don't kill draft day, dude. There's not a lot of I'm looking based on the teams and the coach, let's see what year, dude. I'm having a hard time seeing what year. I guess not even that year, dude. Lord, maybe 2019's draft. Yeah, Bosa, Debo. I'm highlighting the ones that actually got Debo, Bosa, Wisnowski, Greenlaw, and Justin School. I guess that was with Jalen Hurd and Tim Harris too. But you got a couple all pros there, or no, a couple Pro Bowl players, one all pro. Debo was never an all pro. Was he that in 2021? He was an all pro. Yeah, okay, 2 all pros there. Maybe 2020, where we only had, because we only had 5 draft picks. Ayuk and Jennings were in that. It's funny that a guy picked in the 7th. The guy picked 25th overall, and Juwan's arguably probably the most complete receiver we have on the team.
I wish I could go back 12 months, extend Jennings an extra year or 2, probably rework that deal right now. Say, hey, here's some more money for you. We already got you locked up, but here's a few more bucks for you because you earned it, and not sign the $30 million contract with Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. In hindsight, yeah. I mean, obviously time will tell, but this last draft class, as far as their impact year 1, out of the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. 6 of them, 6 out of the 8 were all impact. Like the last 2 picks, Jarrett Kingston and Tatum. Tatum was still on the roster. The only one guy that we kind of whiffed on was Kingston because he didn't end up making it, but everyone else made an impact. From Pearsall came in late, but he didn't have a full camp. Bernardo Green is a fucking stud. Love Green. I love our secondary. Cooney, Mustafa, stud. Garendo looks like he can play in this league for a little bit. Cowing is decent. Is gonna see where his role, see where he goes with that, and then Bethune's a death player. Like that. I mean, it could be this class can be our. I think, dude, it's yeah. Jair Brown's a third. Because we didn't have any first rounders. Of course, I meant to say our first guy that we took in that draft class. Fuck Jay. I'm all the way out on Jair Brown. Right.
The 21 class was nice. They had a lot of those guys made an impact. I think early on, first season or two.
Yeah. Elijah Mitchell was awesome. I know he's very injury prone, but I love the way he ran. I love the way he played. He was awesome for us. Lenore is I think Lenore might be my favorite 49er on the team. Like my favorite 49er right now. Even like last year is my favorite. Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? We'll have a lot of picks, dude. So like, it's again like. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be fun, dude. It's gonna be fun. We gotta get together and watch that shit.
Oh, the draft.
Yeah.
What's day one's usually on is it a Thursday or a Friday?
I think it's a Thursday. Yeah. We got. You know what we need? We just need some good brothers.
Get a couple brothers in there. Draft one, sign one. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to make some kind of a small splash in free agency on the line. That's you can't draft them all, obviously. So I was a little surprised Malik Collins got released. I didn't really expect that one.
Yeah, it's kind of like another space saver, really. And he was available all year, and I don't think he played poorly. I thought he was kind of more. He got moved up the line a little bit too much in the run game, but he was he's a depth piece player. Like he's a professional NFL player. He's just not a guy that's going to give you that impact that you want at that spot. So he's an older guy. Him, and I think Gross Matos is still on the team. Floyd's gone. Yeah, man. That depth up front. I think we're going to get some. We're going to have to. Niners signing Giants DB Jason Pinnock, another special teams guy, 1-year deal.
I'm okay with those signs. We had a historically bad special teams unit last season. So you sink some resources into tightening up there. Combination of that, Saleh coming back, maybe the defense is stabilized somewhat. Probably not going to be looking at a top-notch group, but just got to get through 2025. That's the thing. That's the key.
Why do we gotta get to 2025?
We got to get through it because we're going to eat $85 million in dead cap.
Oh yeah.
So it's just this is one of those seasons where you're just your dumb fans want you to tank because you have no hope. For most other teams that are in this type of situation, one team that comes to mind like the Saints in the last few years, they've been in salary cap hell. So you're not going to compete. So you tank, you get a nice draft pick, and by the time your salary cap eases up, you've got some young drafted talent, and then you can rebuild from there. But with us, it's just we could collapse, or we can just ride the wave a little bit, survive it, and get through to 2026. But I think we have a chance to still compete and do pretty well. I mean, the division's fairly open. I think Seattle and Arizona are dead in the water, but the Rams look pretty good. I think the Adams signing was solid. I think when Adams and Nakua are both healthy, that's going to be a real help for Stafford. I think it's the last rodeo for Stafford over there. It's probably this season. I didn't expect him to stay healthy last year, and he did. So he'll be 37, and it seems like it's not all in, but they're still being mindful of spending, which is smart. But feels like this is the year for the Rams if they're going to get it done, and it's up to us to stop them. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think. I can only see them getting better. It's annoying. Um, you know, we're gonna have to just trust a lot of young guys this year, for better or worse, to to in crucial spots, which is cool. We'll find out very soon. If we're you know I'm just happy that there's just gonna be so many dudes coming out this draft class. Hopefully, we just get a couple of them. I think the Rams. Uh, I think the Rams are the most complete team, obviously now, especially their defense. But they're offensively, now that Devontae's there and um, you know I think they do a good job running the ball too. Like Kyron Williams is really good, and if their identity though is like you know their receivers are kind of more their focal point downfield because of Stafford. But if they wanted to, they could run it just as good as they want to throw it. So they're going to be a good team.
Yeah,
They are a good team. They are a good team. Just
yeah. Everything
yeah.
depends on your quarterback, though. I just think you recognize
Stassi.
it's Stafford's probably last call. I would imagine it's going to be this year. I did not expect him to get through last season fully healthy. He did. It was feel like the clock's ticking. This is the age 37 season is typically where you start to see the dip for most quarterbacks. But he's got arm talent. He's got smart, so he can last a while longer. But it's just a huge help having that second receiver. Because once Nakua inevitably goes down because of just his play style, it gets tough for him, I think. But as long as you keep him upright and you got Adams there, it just feeds right into. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better replacement for Cooper Kupp than Devontae Adams. So it kind of plays right into their strength there. So they'll be tough for sure. But hopefully they get hit by a train or plane crashes or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Something. Yeah. That yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I don't know because like in all honesty, like I can't see their defense playing any better than they did last year towards the end. Like if that's I think that's like the ceiling that I think with what they do, and they kind of I guess I don't know if they can play any better defensively from like the bye week on. It's offensively obviously. So if Stafford can, yeah, man. If I don't know what their schedule looks like, um, I know though that we're always going to be pretty neck and neck with them when we meet. So um, we'll have an opportunity to take a couple. I hope it's just like we can't beat ourselves in the fourth quarter like we did fucking dude. Like we could have swept that team last year. We could have,
Yeah,
even when they were playing a little better when they were at our place, we could have beaten that team.
the offense didn't shit themselves. So weird. So weird in that first matchup where Purdy played perfect. The offense was humming, and even with the drop passes, and then in the second meeting, they just couldn't do anything at all. It was just so frustrating. So frustrating. But yeah, the Rams defense really came on that second half of the season. They got really good. But simultaneously the offense kind of fell off. Like their points per game scored to end the season was really low. I don't know. It's hard to, and I think because of that, because the defense played so well to end it, it kind of overshadowed their offensive struggles. I'd have to go back and kind of look, but it's hard to judge Stafford, especially just based on his stat sheet. His plays transcends that a little bit, even if it looks a little messy or whatever. So I don't know. I'm waiting on him to get old. I'm waiting on him to get a little old.
He's old. He's old.
To get knocked a little bit and to be rattled. I'm just waiting for it. And once that happens, it's Jimmy G show, baby. And then we're really cooking. I'm just waiting for it. This is the year.
That's funny. It's just that they lost a guard. They lost someone to free agency up front.
Jonah Jackson, but he was gone all year anyways. They did a really nice job. Like they had an absolute patch job of an offensive line.
That's what I was gonna say. That I think that is just as was the job that was done there was just as impressive as what they've done defensively. Like they were able to like you said, patch it together and just run it, throw it, McVay, and
I think it was scheme too. It's all out of the shotgun and it's all get the ball out quickly.
Good coaching.
Even if that means targeting the same guy 20 times a game.
Yeah.
Get the ball out quick, run the ball. Yeah, they did a nice. I mean, they were 1-4 to start the year, so it's not like it translated to wins.
Right. But they stayed the course.
Yeah, they did.
It's good coaching. Mm-hmm. They're one of the best coach team. I think even like Les Snead does a great job too. Like they're whatever.
Yeah, really.
We better get our shit together, dude.
I really thought Stafford was going to walk, and they were going to sign Aaron Rodgers. I was waiting on that.
That was a possibility. Yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, that would have been fun. But I think I never thought Stafford. It was funny because I never thought Stafford was going to leave. I thought it would have been very, very, very dumb of. At this point of his career, like Stafford's not a fucking idiot. Like, and to have the reaction be like, oh, look, Stafford came back. He never left, dude. Stafford never left. Like, look who's back. Stafford's back. Dude, he didn't leave. What the fuck are you talking about? He never left. He's just like, okay, like they were talking about some things, because of X, Y, and Z. His wife talks too much on social media, and that's what it was. It's got a fucking housewife, an LA housewife. Talking into a microphone. Dude, there's some that shit on. She said some crazy stuff, dude. I can't imagine my wife going on a podcast and being like, dude, I fucking slept with my husband's roommate. I would
make him jealous back then, so I blew the backup.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying? Do you know like what I as a part of me feels like, oh, she's she's not as keen to how many people listen, or that this is public knowledge now. Oh, fucking like imagine like who if I was dude I wouldn't have been mad at Stafford if he fucking all of a sudden put the OJ gloves on for a little bit. How do you say that? How do you say that about your husband on a podcast? I don't even know the name of the pod. I'm assuming it's a one that a lot of these,
I think it's hers. I think she has her own podcast. Right?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. No, I don't. I think she was a guest. Oh, if she has, all
I
right,
think she does.
dude. I hope she melts off this. That's gonna be our. That's gonna be our one card we played. All right, what's her name? Kelly.
Kelly, yeah.
Kelly. That dude. We got to put like someone in the organization's got to take it. We got to do some kind of deep state shit to get Kelly Stafford to fucking sink. I cannot. I still, it baffles me. That's crazy. Like, but the only annoying thing about it was like Stafford never left. He was just they were. He has the respect around the league and with his peers and his teammates and the organization to be like, hey, like do me a solid here. Like, let me see what else is going on because I think I am worth more, and that's I have my uncle who's I told you about my uncle, like, and it's like long Stafford getting like he didn't go anywhere, dude. Like he never went anywhere. Why are we celebrating this? And I just fucking hung up.
I was a little surprised he ransomed himself to get more money, considering how much he's made throughout his career.
I don't. I didn't see. I just thought it was kind of. I think it was blown out of proportion a little bit, but because I think a part of me does think though. I don't know what angle, but like that was intentional. I thought that because they, and I think this is like, because again, like I said, barring my hatred for my my division rival, our division rivals, uh, like it wouldn't surprise me like they put it out there, because if they put something out there that he's an actual domino and it prolongs the rest of the quarterback questions around the league, because once his situation is resolved, everyone else can kind of find their guy. If I don't know if it drove up prices on certain guys, I don't know if it kind of changed off-season plans for certain organizations because of his availability potentially.
Mm.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like it's some of the shit that some of these teams do for that. It's not by accident. Most of it, I think, is intentional. They have all these bases covered, especially the ones that are. When do the Rams have any? Like when do like, I, it's just it seemed to like. You're really gonna fucking move on like this? He's arguably the best fucking quarterback in the conference, dude. You're really good. Not arguably, he is the best fucking quarterback in the conference, and you're gonna not give him a little bit more per year. You won. Oh, did he win you a Super Bowl? Yeah, he did. Okay. What are you gonna fucking do? McVay was his, and this is where. Okay, I got my tinfoil hat on now. Okay, so he McVay. Remember when he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna retire."
Yeah.
I don't want to. Remember that? That's probably bullshit too. Because it was all banging on Stafford too. Because like Stafford knew he was going to come back. I don't know what the angle was there too, but there's some ripple effect somewhere that ended up benefiting them somehow, somewhere. I can't. The McVay stuff was like, oh, I'm going to retire because because we're possibly not going to have a franchise quarterback. That's kind of silly, but yeah, no, I'm like. Fucking hate the Rams, dude. Seattle. Seattle. Sam Darnold. I'm gonna miss Geno Smith, dude. I'm gonna miss Geno Smith.
I'm gonna miss him too. He was very good to us over the years.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they offered him 40, 45 a year, and he said no thanks, trade me. But I'm curious. He's going to a Vegas organization that's been in relative shambles for decades now. And I had to look it up to really confirm my thought process here, is that you're going to the Raiders. They don't have a lot of talent on offense, and you're going to play in a division where your three rivals all finished in the top 4 of defense.
The 49ers and wide receiver Demarcus Robinson are in agreement on a 2-year deal worth $9.5 million, $6 million guaranteed. Former Rams wide receiver Demarcus Robinson. Remember him? Do you remember him?
I do, yeah. I do.
He made some plays.
He did, yeah. Huh.
That was kind of from left field. I didn't even know that he was. I know they re-signed Tutu.
Yeah.
I did not know that he was. I didn't know that he was even a free agent.
Neither did I. Yeah, he filled. I mean, when Nakua and Cup were both down, he was. I think
Yeah.
He may have started opposite of Atwell for a few games last year. He made some plays.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's okay. Well, hold on. Wait.
It's a cheap deal.
Yeah, no, he out of Florida, was with Kansas City in 2016, was with the Raiders in 2022, and then was with the Rams in 2023.
Okay. Well,
First thing I pull up, that's from Rams Wire. Les Needs suggests Demarcus Robinson's arrest in 2024 could prevent Rams from re-signing him. What do you get arrested for? Now we got a brother.
yeah, we got our brother.
We got the right
You
brother.
want it, you got it, pal.
It doesn't. I can't fucking. I'm not reading all that shit. That's a left field. That's okay. Yeah. How much was guaranteed? I said
6 and change over 2 years.
6 fully guaranteed.
What? All the 9?
No. 6 fully guaranteed. 9.5 can earn up to 9.5. 6 fully guaranteed.
That's over 2 years.
Mm.
It's fine.
All right. What would you play? The X, play the Z? What would you play? He's yeah. Broke 500 receiving yards for the first time in his career. He finished with 505 yards on 31 catches. Single season high in touchdowns with 7. Kind of a journey guy too. He bounced around a little bit. Yeah. Will turn 31 this upcoming season.
I mean, I'm okay. You like what you see. I mean, we needed something, some depth. I expected it to come via the draft, but you want to get a veteran guy, you know that Ayuk's going to miss time.
Keenan Allen, dude. Keenan Allen's still out there. I would have liked Keenan Allen. Not bad. He's a lot older, but
He'll fetch a decent little price tag on a 1-year deal. He'll end up going to one of the contenders.
Interesting.
That's okay.
Yeah,
means you're not drafting a receiver in the first couple rounds, though. That's what that means.
only if one guy, only if the kid from Arizona was there, dude. McMillan. Yeah, I don't think that'll happen either. Even if he is there, I don't think we'll take him. That's yeah. I don't know if it's definitely a position all of a sudden that I mean, it's been a position that we've been kind of. It's the one that we didn't really want to, especially after all the fucking bullshit, you know. He's definitely gonna play early for sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they get someone else and they draft someone else. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And there's no one else. There's Conley's gone. You got Pearsall, you got Cowing, you got Ayuk is hurt, and you got practice squad guys. Juwan, of course.
You fucking forgot about the best guy. You
No,
forgot
dude.
the best
No,
one.
Juwan. Look at Juwan's our best receiver, dude. I've been saying it like even before we signed.
I would
Like,
like them to. I would like them to extend him again. I'd like to add on a couple years.
oh, it's gonna be a little bit more.
I know
Be
that's
a little
fine.
bit more.
That's it. Yeah, that's fine. He's not going to make big bucks, but I wouldn't mind giving him some money. This is it. This is his last season, so tack on a couple extra years. You know what he is. You know what he's capable of. You know what he brings to the table, and we're better with him on the field.
Juwan Jennings is he's gonna be one of those guys that we always like. Even like when we're in our 60s or 70s, like, dude, let me tell you about Juwan Jennings.
Yeah,
Who is the perfect fucking receiver. Not the flashiest, obviously not the one that's gonna make a shit ton of money, but he was our guy, man. 7th round pick too. Fred Warner. Ooh. Yeah, wait, this is not accurate. I get Hargrave out of here. Minnesota got a little fucking. They got beef there. They got Allen and Hargrave.
Oh, they got. I didn't see that already.
They got John Allen there.
Mm. Hey. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Darnold's going to be a disaster behind that offensive line. I mean, all of Geno Smith's highlight reel is him dodging traffic, and I mean, he's a cunt, but he carried a lot of the load the last couple of years in Seattle. I think if you get someone who's more panicky behind that line, it gets really nasty really quick. Anything can happen, but that pass protection is really bad there, and I think Darnold is just a walking, breathing turnover machine. I think
Where are they picking? Where are they picking? What spot? Do you know?
oh,
Seattle.
that's what?
Where's their draft spot? The first round.
Oh, they just missed the postseason, so it should be like 16th, maybe 17th.
They'll grab a decent offensive lineman there.
Well, they need like 4 of them, so they tried to get. I don't remember the guy's name. They tried to get somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it was whoever. I think I want to say Minnesota got him. He did from Indianapolis, maybe. It's like the second guard on the market behind Banks, and they sent him an offer. He said no thanks.
All right.
All that, and then no Metcalf either, and Lockett's gone. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it's there's gonna be a little turnover, but I think they got a couple pieces. It's just there should be no reason why we can't handle those guys. These 2 times, but I think with I don't know who I'd rather. I mean I don't know. Defensively, they're better, obviously, but they re-signed one of their dudes on defense too. I don't know. I forget his name. Uh,
I know they gave a contract to Ernest Jones.
all right. Right. Yeah. So, oh, yeah. No, it's good. Like there's still a lot, you know, a lot of older guys out there that they're trying to leech on for the biggest price. But yeah, that's an interesting signing. I don't think I think with our receiver room, it's so different, from does is it what does this do you think this kind of means we're more are we I mean I don't think so, but do you think there's any um hard proof that we're gonna move off Ayuk?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what his medical diagnosis is at this point or how that's looking. But if I'd say, obviously it would be motivated by the injury, but it just really irritates me that that's even a discussion right now. Um, like we're only 6 months or so into that contract. Like, uh, it's just frustrating. That's a really frustrating one. Um, God, there's got to be so much fucking dead cap associated with that contract. Like you just nurse him back, you see what he looks like, and you take it from there.
Mm. I kept hearing the Patriots that were like supposedly like
I heard that, yeah.
giving us a pretty good offer. I can see it. So like even if it like if whatever uh, you know um, if it's any like hypothetical offer, with what we kind of went through, with his negotiations, even him being hurt, I can see us being like really greedy. And he's like, all right, well, just tack on this pick for 2026 or 20. I can see us being greedy because I don't think there's no way we I don't think we part ways with with Ayuk, but if if listen, if it's the right fucking haul, man, you know,
It's just too
it's
much.
yeah, it comes down to that. Like, say if New England was a legit suitor, like how much money are you willing to take on that? And like are we gonna pay for some of that salary well before they take on that contract? Or that's probably it probably came out of that, I'm sure. Like, you know, it's like, no, we want you to take all of it. It's like, no, you pay for something. You negotiated it, you pay for some of it. No, no, John, no, don't want to. No. Like, and then you got, Kraft hops on the line and Robert Kraft. Like, John, good deal. Who do they have though? Who's their New England's do they have who's their number one receiver over there? Kendrick Bourne still?
I don't
Who's
think
their
he's there
guy?
anymore. I I
They
don't
don't
know.
really have a guy. They have a shit ton of money too. They have the number one cap space, and
I do.
it's prime. That's what John should be telling him. Robert, look, like, dude, your fucking parlor days are done, right? You gotta fucking come on. Take on the money. He's a good, it's just that injury. Fuck this dude. At that point of the year too. That point of the year, and he shredded every ligament in the knee, man. I feel for him.
You just gotta wait for him to come back and see what it looks like.
Yeah, is there going to be some regression in his talent and his speed and his acceleration and his route running, which is I think one of the best in the league. And is there going to? I mean, you can't not think about that. You can't not question it. Like it's definitely viable and it's definitely a realistic possibility that he comes back and he's just you know
Yeah, just don't think you can move off of him right now. But I wonder if Robinson has reps as a special teamer.
Yeah,
He
he
has
does.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's part of the equation.
Yeah, for sure. He does. He does. I mean, I think he kind of. I don't think he's going to be as good as Conley was on special teams, but he's definitely that guy that can, like, all right, we got to, like, Juwan's down. He could play that Z or X spot, or he could fill in, and because we haven't had I don't remember a full year where we had all in the Shanahan era where we had all of our guys be healthy from a skill position standpoint. So one guy always or two guys always end up fucking nursing something. So, and then I'm sure they like that a lot, and they saw a lot of them, and they know a lot of them since we was in our division. But they like the fact that with Puka and Cooper out for a good period of time, like he stepped up and he played well.
Yeah.
It wasn't too much for him. They like that.
Works for me. That's what we need. Good, cheap signings. Fill some of the holes.
It's not a bad idea with the money being thrown around. Shit, that's not bad. Not bad. I like it. Now that I've had time to digest it, Chris, like, I like it. I like it. Now that I have time.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The draft will be fun. But what did they give Hopkins in Baltimore? What did they give Hopkins in Baltimore?
Oh, I just had that one up. Let's see. 1 year, $6 million.
Damn, really? Wow.
Yep.
Now, see, he's one of the
Yeah.
guys. That's one of the rare ones where it's like, hey, I've made my money. I'm just here to compete for a title. Chiefs fucked me over.
He's trying. No, you went to. I mean, you went to a legit contender. Baltimore's going to be in it again, like they always are. But yeah, so.
Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a really good deal for them.
Yeah, he's same agent that Debo has. That fucking Tory Dandy guy from CAA. Yeah. Also looks like it might happen.
I don't know. You're just swapping out Leonard Floyd's deal for Bosa. 10 million, maybe 9, 8. Feels like he could get paid somewhere.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if it's for a year and he plays really well and he like another. I don't think at his age, I don't think he'll have another, record-setting contract because of how old he is. But I mean, he might know that and he might think this is his last contract, so he's gonna make. Obviously, he's not gonna. It's always funny that some people think that we have a relative of his on our team, so he's gonna take a discount. It's like, why?
Yeah, you don't know these fucking brothers and how much cunts they are when it comes to their money.
Come on, God, this is it's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, I'm seeing Robinson highlights on this shit. It's quick separation, good route runner. That first step. Got a little, yeah. I think he's good. I think we feed him. It's a good signing. It's a good signing. I like it. So it's nice, cheap players who come in, got some experience, contributing in two phases of the game. That's what we need. We need a bridge to the future, a prosperous future.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think we're signing Joey Bosa. But I am really curious now with Leonard Floyd being released. There's a signing out there somewhere. There has to be that. So probably a couple.
Yeah, definitely a correlation there. Like just to, I still think like if because Floyd, I liked Floyd, and I remember being on rec kind of like saying like I think that was probably the best player that Knicks played across or down the line from as far as the defensive end, but like you know from a overall player standpoint on you know being and that's kind of like it's like being as good against the pass ideas as you are, against the run. And I think Joey's gonna. I think he's a more of a rounded player in that regard. If they're gonna, you saw like like was he what he I don't know his numbers, but like I brought him up like what he had Mac down the line from him, and he didn't have a bad year, right? How many sacks did he have? How many TFLs did he have? How many hurries did he have? I'm gonna find out, Chris, because I fucking like it. I do. Again, he's gonna have to take a discount, because he's a wholesome guy.
We just add him into Nick's contract. Just add a clause to that. Take a little slice of Nick's action. Give it to his brother. It's got to be a loophole or something to can exploit.
Niners and Dolphins have each made offers.
Yeah, that's what I read the other day. But Silver reported that, and then I think he like walked it back. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now.
Let's see. Last year, 2024, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. How many games did he play? Let me see. 2024, he played 14. 14 games, 5 sacks. Let's see. Doesn't say how many times he hurried the passer. Doesn't say on ESPN. True or false, was Joey Bosa a member of the San Diego Chargers or just the Los Angeles Chargers? That one's for you.
I can't remember when the Chargers moved.
Well, it sounds like this is gonna be are you deferring here?
I think. Fuck, I don't know. 2016, he got drafted.
We're doing Chargers trivia.
I don't remember when the Chargers moved. If they moved at the same time as the Rams, then yes, that would have been his first year. Yes, he was a member of both. Final answer.
That's correct. Yes, he was a member. The last year they were in San Diego, he played 12 games there, and then when they went to so I'm going to list off the games as far as games played because I know injury history is a thing with this Mag bro here. 12, 16, 7, 16, 12, 16, 5 in 2022, 9 in 2023, and then 14 last year, which is it's funny. I know I don't like PFF, but I want some more numbers. What the fuck? How else he did? And now me doing a little dive on. Nope. Come on. Well, yeah, man. He made a lot of money with the Chargers.
Yeah, he did.
Holy hell!
Yeah, they paid him, set the precedent for his little brother. They kept talking about that during the negotiations. These fucking Bosa brothers, the little assholes, entitled little white pricks. Think the world owes them something.
Like, yeah. They're real pieces of shit. Uh, I don't. I mean, I mean, it's again like I think there's just as many cons as there are pros, but yeah, if we do get him, he obviously he does make our pass rush and our run defense better for the near future. Um, you know, but the Leonard Floyd him being released, I think that kind of you know can delegate that money in that spot in that position to somewhere else. Ray Hendrickson.
Probably not.
Let me tell you about a pure white. That guy.
He's a Cincinnati white.
But he's also a good Christian white. So Bosa ain't Christian white. Is he Christian?
I I do. He's MAGA white. I know that.
But, hey, is he a Christian white? Actually, no. He's a Seventh Day Adventist. John and Cheryl Bosa. That'd be so funny. They have under their profile, they say what type of religion he is.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, this guy, he was a Mormon his first 2 years, and then he transitioned, and now he sees the bigger picture, and now look at him. I really like him. That'd be so funny. Recovering Catholic. It's still he still can play it obviously at a high level, and he could still help us this upcoming season.
Yeah.
It's just like it's funny because if we picked higher and we could grab like Abdul Carter or James Pierce, or we probably wouldn't entertain it. But now that we're at 11, yeah, maybe. It's funny, like it's looking again. Oh yeah, all we had to do, Chris, is just fucking score, and score in overtime. You'd be happy. Yeah.
Well, they scored in overtime too. So all you got to do is convert on second and 4. Second and 4, you just ripped off 6 yards. Just pick up 4 more yards. You pick up 4 more yards, and the game's over. Take a field goal.
It was a line miscommunication. Yeah.
Oh, on the overtime, yeah. I'm talking about the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah. That was the 3rd and 4.
It was first and 10. It was 2nd and 4. You just run the ball there. Just run it. Just keep running it. Just keep running it. They're tired. They're giving up. They're giving up 4, 5, 6 to play. Just run the ball. Run the ball. Convert the first down, and then they have enough timeouts to stop it with like 20 seconds left. You kick a field goal. You play a little defense for 2 plays, and you go home. That's all it was.
I rewatched it.
I will never.
Like what was it, like maybe like a couple months ago, like 2 months ago. I watched it. I just kind of skimmed through it a little bit because I forgot some things, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh, this, yeah, man. So many opportunities. So many opportunities. You can't point to one thing You can, but you really like, and you just makes you wonder, like, yeah,
Is life worth living?
just look at this, like, just that's why I just like her. Every like when I think I'll just like just like you know, I always have that joke where not a joke, but like actually happening, like where I'll what was I doing, dude? We were driving. I think I'm like picking up my little one from like her dance class or something. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if it was anybody else in the car. And yeah, how was it? And then this was like a couple weeks after the game, and I just was just like looking off. Like you just sitting in the car and you're just like kind of just like like 1,000 yard stare. Like, there was Daddy, okay, what's going on? You haven't said anything. Like I forget what she said. I just like just stuck in my thoughts, Chris. Stuck in my thoughts, and I'll never. I rewatched it, and man, God, and if you can never convince me that we weren't the better team for 3/4 of that game.
Yeah. Um, yeah. It would just be one of those. It was just it's a curse. It's a curse. That's all it is. Just a curse. I think
All we've known really is pain. Like for most of our Niners, all we've known really is pain. We've had some jovial times. We've had some jovial, like we've had some cheerful moments, right? But it's really just been agonizing, like life, like like agonizing defeats. We've all That's really all we've really known. I mean, we saw the tail end, uh, you know, Eddie DeBartolo, Seifert, you know, but all we've really known is just pain. And I did yeah, I mean, when did it really start? I guess the Kyle Williams fumble was really the one that kind of got it going.
yeah, that one was big. Um, can't really point to one thing in the Super Bowl with the Ravens. We just sucked. We just sucked that first half. We
Yeah,
didn't deserve to win that game. I don't know what the fuck happened there with that
yeah,
defense.
but
We just got
we still we still found a way to get back in the game, and we're still down there. Fourth
yeah.
and goal. Doing it at
First,
the factory.
first and goal at the 5. 4
Yeah,
passes.
yeah,
4 passes.
yeah, yeah. Well, go if you. I think that one would be obviously less painful to go watch, but go look at that sequence. And he fucking brought everyone. I mean, it's just like, all right, well, I mean, Crabtree was he was kind of known for that, but we'll try our chances with him and Jimmy Smith, that corner. And we tried rolling Kaepernick out too to, keep him on the run. I thought, and I still think if you go back, I'm not saying he should, but if you do, work up the courage. So I thought maybe he could have kept it there. I thought he could have kept it and he could have fucking. And if there's any time to really fucking sacrifice a possible spinal injury, dude, and there's the time. Go get it.
I just think randomly I'll think about like all we can't point to one thing in that last Super Bowl, but there's a handful of them obviously. But then when I think about man, McCaffrey fumbled and then the muff punt, like their only touchdown of the game in regulation off of a muff punt inside of our own 20 when we were shutting them down defensively. Oh man, and then
Greenlaw.
like when I think about the Greenlaw injury, and if you can change one thing in that game, it's probably that.
Oh no, hands down.
You understood the domino
Oh,
effect. And it's like
oh yeah.
he got hurt. When's the last time an NFL player got hurt on the sideline? Suffered a game-ending, season-ending injury while on the sideline. And when I think about that, it's so baffling sometimes. It's like it's fresh in my mind again as to how that could happen. And that's why I'm convinced there's a curse. There's a curse out there. There's no other fucking explanation. There's a curse. It's just unbelievable. God. Yeah, they're the better team. They're the better team, but the offense just didn't come out in the second half and do anything. It was just
Yeah, well, that's that. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what. Yeah, yeah. That. It's Spagnuolo and that defense that had the recipe for what we wanted. It's it's very and it we still made plays that Juwan touchdown. We had to do a trick play to get in the first time, you know. So yeah, it's just like man, and if I really wanted to put myself on a a definite life threatening watch was when I saw how open Ayuk was on that play too. That was the one that was the 3rd and 4 because he looked for Juwan on the safer, a little outcut that he had that he had leverage on, and he had it was kind of like the right, I guess the right throw if the protection was fine. But like like Ayuk. I mean, he wasn't in the read because of the time that he had. But even if he had the time, it's just funny because like they really like I made a few. I don't know his numbers, but like he down there like let's. No, I'm just playing money more than quarterback now. But yeah, he was open. And so was Juwan. Just yeah, that was that dude. I don't recommend you go back and watch. So don't go back. If you do, just like skim and like go to the plays where that like that was awesome play, or we did this and we or look at that drive where we kind of you know there. Oh, the play I always think about too is that play before halftime in Miami where we lost the first time to him was that offense pass interference against Kittle where he put us in field goal range.
yeah. Yep. I think about
Yeah, is
the Bosa hold, the third and 15.
dude,
It's
dude,
Tyreek.
dude, they were holding him quite a bit all game. He's like, dude. It's just that that play got him back in, but that pick that Travarius Moore had in the fourth quarter, like 7 minutes. You remember that? Remember where we
Yeah.
were
Yeah, they celebrate. Yeah, yep.
we we saw 7 minutes left and we saw that side of the ball and we were like up 2 scores. And remember where we were watching that together, but we were like I knew I was like, okay, that's gotta be a good nail in the coffin.
Yeah,
A good.
yeah.
That's got to be a pretty big one. I know we need a few more. I know we need a few more. That's got to be a big one. And I don't recall a postseason game or or a Super Bowl just turn on its head like that. Just we shrunk like Garoppolo shrunk.
Oh,
All they had to do was like they got the ball back. They got that big player Tyreek, and they got it in fairly quickly after that. And just the energy just
same exact deal in the championship game against the Rams. Came fourth
yeah.
quarter, the opposing defensive line starts to penetrate a little bit, and your quarterback just fucking melts. Same guy in both games. It was just, oh god.
Yeah, dude, that game was a rough one too, dude. That one, I'll never forget that one. And my experience watching that shit. I broke my remote pretty good. I will never forget that one. That one, ooh, yeah, that one has to be up there, and yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, obviously it's up there, but like, but to them and how the how matters and the who matters. That's probably my one. That's probably my no. Well, the Super Bowl. I don't know, dude.
All three of
That
those are 10-point fourth quarter leads.
what
You know what? I
what
think
it
the Chiefs one wasn't. Chiefs, we had a 10-point lead to start the game. There you go. Yeah.
it's not so much because a 10 point lead's nothing really. It's not so much that it's a double digit lead, which is a 10. In this part of the game, it's just how we don't respond and we don't finish with that play that we need to make. It's not that when people always and people, we when they talk about Kyle Shanahan, especially Kyle Shanahan, like he can't. It's just 10 points is 10 points. Like that's not that's especially in that kind of game. It's just that we just can't figure out offensively to make the play. You know what? Too, I was gonna fucking give you a rant when I first and Julian Edelman has a podcast. Some just a stupid fucking name. Uh, but Edelman's it's cool because Edelman is a California. He's a Northern California guy. He's a Niner fan too. Like in his little setup, like he has a picture of Dion breaking up a Michael Irvin pass in the championship game. He has a hat, a Niner hat. He has like he dated Jerry Rice's daughter. He took his daughter to
Or
prom. Yeah. So he has some cool stories. And he's obviously, I think, one of the best postseason receivers in league history. But anyway, like so he had fucking Patricia on their DC that when they won that Super Bowl against the Falcons. They were talking about that and they were talking about like a particular play. But anyway, like what Patricia said was like, yeah, we're gonna have our opportunities. This offense is gonna get this Falcons offense with Shanahan pulling the trigger on play calls. They're gonna have their opportunities and they're gonna make plays.
yeah.
Do but keep playing, because and this is verbatim, pretty sure. He's like, but keep playing because they're gonna keep throwing it. They're gonna give us opportunities to get back in the game. He said they're gonna get in their own way. And they knew that. And when he said that, and then I'm thinking like, oh, okay. Like it's like he was very he and it wasn't like because the entire time they were talking about this one the sack that kind of turned the game on its head. But you remember that they kept throwing, they were up, kept throwing it, kept and I was just like, dude, yeah. How do you fuck up a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, dude? As a team, not even putting it on Shannon, as a team. How you fucking do that? How do you do that? And it didn't turn like to like what, like third quarter with like 8 minutes left? 7 minutes left.
It was third quarter with like 2 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Dan Quinn doesn't get enough shit for surrendering 25 points in 17 minutes, but
He does. Okay, sure. Yeah.
but on the offensive side, and I don't remember everything about the game. I know that they had two drives that breached New England territory in that third and fourth quarter. And I've seen the screenshots from them since then. And if you freeze them, there's one where it's like, 1st and 10 at like the 30. When you already have 28 points, you score 1 point, this game's over. Like you just, a field goal ices it entirely. And you've got a 1st and 10 scenario right there, like at the 30, 31, 32 yard line. And I remember, stuffed at the line, and then I think they took a couple, like a back-to-back sacks or something like that. And then they had another drive that went inside of like the 40, where you're, right on the cusp of field goal range. I don't remember who their kicker was at the time, but, 2 scoring opportunities where you went a different route with it, and like, okay, we just can't eat a sack here. And then they eat a sack. The thing you cannot do here, they went ahead and did. I can't read it. I see his face. What is it?
Buffalo.
Oh, he's
12.6, 1 year.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Don't play for the fucking Bills. I hope you get caught in a blizzard and die.
Yeah. That's probably a little bit more money over there too. I don't think we would have given them north of 10 or something like that. I remember that was a number like, oh, they're not gonna. They have a set number for that. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing with these guys too. Like the same thing with the Hopkins deal. It's, I'm older, 1 year, give me a decent salary, and let's go try to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think we're viewed as that right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't really want him. Something a little cheaper. We still need some, bridge player for that position for sure. But
They lost Von Miller. Think Von Miller could still help?
No, I don't think so.
Von Miller, man.
It's a really cheap deal. He's a third down specialist, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, but I don't think, I'll be interested to see if he wants to keep playing and where he ends up. Because he's going to want to be in a for sure contender too.
Yeah.